married to the most nonchalant man ever. And by that, I mean, do you know what my husband found today that I didn't even know he had? He goes, oh, I thought I lost those. He has 2 purple hearts. In the 3 years we've been together, he's never told me. He's like, yeah, I just thought I had lost them.
This is not because you're married to a nonchalant man. This is because you're married to a good man that has probably a lot of feelings surrounding that day. It was probably one of the worst days of his life. Sadly, for a lot of good men, those medals can just represent and be reminders for the day that he lost his buddies. But I understand why she misinterpreted this as just being nonchalant, because women don't realize that men that have been through these things, like, they might act calm, cool, and collected, but that doesn't mean that it's not having a huge impact on his mental health. Because of that, he needs to have coping strategies. Putting these medals aside and never speaking of them, that's a coping mechanism. So ladies, if that is you and this is your man, just be cautious. Don't open Pandora's box.
Dude in the comments said, as a veteran, some of us don't talk about our service unless we're directly asked. That's pretty much it. It don't. A lot of these dudes, a lot of people in the service are not there for the accolades. They're not. They're there to serve their country. Obviously, you get some perks and benefits, if you can call it that. I know a lot of people that talk about the VA and how it's a nightmare. It's an absolute horror show. So, take that and do what you will. But a lot of these veterans aren't out here bragging.
If the kids are coming out of me, they're getting my last name. And if my husband or whoever wants the whole family to have the same last name, he can change his to mine, because I will not be doing that. I will not be changing my last name to anybody else's because I already have one. Why do I need a new one? If you're thinking, Tori, what if your husband doesn't want that? He wouldn't be my husband. Simply, I would not be with somebody who would not be okay with that or also think in the same way. So, hope that helps.
At this point, it has nothing to do with the name change and everything to do with the attitude. Because look, men know that if you're this rigid about a particular subject, which involves what is the normal when a woman gets married, like she normally changes her name to her husband's name and her kids have her husband's last name. If you are that rigid and you're basing it off of the fact that it's your child coming out of your body as if he has no part to play in it, like, we all know what kind of attitude you're going to have with him as a father. But the overall greater problem with this is that a lot of good men nowadays, they wouldn't necessarily have an objection to having a discussion about this. Like, they would be open to talking about it, but they also need you to be open about talking about it. Because the bottom line is that out of anybody in the world, you should be open to compromising with the person that you claim to love the most.
All of this sounds great. If that's the way you want to play it, none of this money is coming out of my bank account if you didn't work for it. You see how that goes? You see how that works? If you didn't partake in my sweat, my blood, my tears to build my career, no, ma'am, you're not going to get any of it. Well, I'm sick. I had to have your child. You need to pay for me. I can't work. I'm on maternity leave. Ooh, you really need to start sacrificing. Child's going to get your last name. You need to show that child how strong you are.
I guess she had the same idea. Let's see if you can pick up a guy at Home Depot.
For you guys that don't already realize it, having the skills of building things and getting your hands dirty, not being afraid of that, is extremely attractive to pretty much all women. So the concept here of a woman going to Home Depot looking good and walking around trying to find a single guy, like, it's good, right? The ideas behind it are good. She wants to find a man that is not afraid to get his hands dirty. However, many women have tried this, and it oftentimes does not work because those men at Home Depot are not looking to hit on a woman. They are just looking to finish the project, okay? Home Depot, Lowe's, it is like their peaceful place. It's their work zone, okay? They're in work brain. So if you're a woman that is trying to do this, you need to be a little bit bolder than what you typically would be. You need to say something to him. You need to approach him. Just make sure, especially if it's a weekend, to look at his hand, okay? Because most likely if it's a man on a weekend, like mid-morning, early afternoon, he's probably there because he's completing a task that his wife sent him there to do. Other than that, ladies, good luck, and men, good luck finishing your projects.
Dude in the comments said, imagine a guy sitting and hanging around nail salons or a hair salon trying to pick women up. The cops are on their ways. What would happen? The cops would be there pronto.
Ooh, not tonight, babe. I'm really tired. Maybe tomorrow.
All too often this happens, and I think that women oftentimes do not realize how negatively this impacts their relationship. But the truth is if this is happening continuously, that is a symptom of a much larger problem in the relationship, but it takes two people to recognize that. But it's definitely a touchy subject. I understand that because it can be a huge indicator of how well the relationship is going. And people can be defensive of that. But I'm telling you, if you care deeply about your relationship lasting a long period of time, the defensiveness needs to stop. And the understanding that this is a huge issue for one person to have a very much unmet need needs to start, which means that it needs to be addressed openly and without shame. Honestly, I think that both people are actually having an unmet need. They just don't realize it. So step 1, recognize that it's a problem. Talk about it. Step 2, figure out a solution together. Be collaborative and remember to compromise, because you should always be willing to compromise with the person that you claim to love the most.
Can you take me out on a date? Oh, not tonight, babe. My wallet's too tired.
How you like that? You gon' like that?
The amount of loyalty demonstrated in one simple motion is honestly heartwarming, and it is what every man wants in his wife.
Facts. A lot of these modern women would have put their photo to the little glass and been like, here's my Snapchat.
There's a man up here that posted and said, we aren't having a male loneliness epidemic. It's natural selection. No one is choosing you because you don't have the things that would make a very good next generation. It's not male loneliness. It is inadequacy and incompetence. And honestly, probably something about the way you look just doesn't sit right with people. So.
Why do I get the sense that the next video this woman's gonna post is about how she's 35 or 40 and she's single, but she's happy. She wants to be single. She don't need no man. Meanwhile, she's like crying to her 15 cats. Unless you as a woman, you're willing to share a man. But what's crazy to me is that women are still trying to use this article that was released a few years ago, and they're still relating this male loneliness to only relationship loneliness. That's not it, ladies. They're also talking about the lack of friendships, and I think that it has way more to do with that than actual relationships. But yet women are trying to utilize it as another way to shame men. And even some men are using it to shame other men to appease women. And that is really messed up.
Not actually natural selection, because if it were, a lot of you modern women would not be here anymore. Y'all think what y'all say makes sense, and it actually doesn't.
Yo, some women get on my fucking nerve. Like, they're over here fucking turning 40, telling me that, oh, I can't find a good man. And then they fucking talk to someone and they just stop talking to them. And I'm like, well, what the fuck happened? Oh, well, I asked him what he was doing and he told me he was eating chicken wings. Okay, and that was it. He was eating fucking chicken wings. You fucking stopped talking to him because he was eating fucking chicken wings? No, he should have, like, ate something healthier. Like, I want my guy to eat something healthy. The guy fucking wants chicken wings. You just stop talking to a guy for eating fucking chicken wings. That's why you fucking 40 and single. Like, what do you mean? They ain't good guys. He's not a good guy because he eats fucking chicken wings? Get the fuck out of here.
These modern women be saying that. Meanwhile, they sitting right there eating Pringles. Pringles. Got a Coke on deck. A Snickers bar right there in front of their face.
I mean, all right, you said that we would talk. So let's talk. It's been almost a whole day and we haven't even talked to each other.
I mean, what do you want me to say? That I'm sorry I have a Tinder profile? Like, I'm sorry. Okay.
I mean, why do you have one?
I don't know. I don't know. We've been together for like almost 11 years. Like, I don't know. Maybe I just wanted to try something new. I mean, I guess, I don't know.
Yeah, 11 years. Why wouldn't you just say something? You make a Tinder instead of talking to your husband of 11 years?
Because, like, what if I made a Tinder and then I came to you and I was like, hey, I don't want to be together anymore, and then, you know, we split and we've got the kids, and then I didn't like anything that I found on Tinder, you know? Like, at least if I didn't say anything and you didn't find me, then at least I still had this to come back to.
To come back to?
Yeah.
That's it. We're done.
Could that woman be any more bothered to have this conversation with her husband? I don't think so. Which is pretty telling. Which, in addition, the other thing that's very telling is the fact that she justifies her actions. Complete justification, no accountability. Which is exactly why this, honestly, is a man's worst nightmare. To be married for 11 years and to find her Tinder profile on his own without her even admitting that she had any problems in the relationship, I sure hope that they don't have any children. But on top of that, she completely denies that she's the wrong person here, that she is the one that is the problem. And that's probably what her story is going to be when people are asking her what happened in the marriage, what caused your divorce. That is exactly what she's going to say, that it was a him problem, not a her problem. But guys are sick of this. It is such a double standard. It definitely wasn't him when you're the one that was doing this.
Somebody in the comments said, you want to try something new? Why don't we try divorce? Why don't we try divorce? That's exactly it. Because if she's talking about foolishness, I think I saw part 1 somewhere where she was saying, we'll talk about this later when he brought this up. We're going to talk about it later in court. Get out.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but if you can't afford a woman's lifestyle, then date within your budget. Don't call her high maintenance. Don't act like she's the problem. She likes what she likes. You just can't provide it. That's not on her. That's on you.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but don't date for a lifestyle. Actually make your budget for your lifestyle based on how much you make at your job.
They actually think that what they're saying makes sense. It doesn't. It's a very childish way of thinking about things.
Hi, everyone. I'm about to go on a date. Wish me luck. More like wish him luck, right? I'll keep you posted. So the date started at 7:15. It is about 7:53 right now. So a little bit over a half hour. And then I had to walk out on the date. This is what happened. We got to talking about our personal lives, you know, what do you do for work, you know, relationships and things like that. And I talk about, oh yes, I was previously married and I have a child who's 8 years old, who I co-parent with my ex-husband and his wife. And then all of a sudden he started freaking out. And he's like, oh, you have a kid? And he says, oh, I can't date somebody who has a kid. Like, to my face. He's like, I can't date somebody who has a kid. I'm like, excuse me? And he starts making me feel like very uncomfortable. I'm like, nobody should ever make me feel like that, especially on a date. Are you kidding me? But I had to walk out on this date because this guy said, I can't date somebody who has a kid. And I think you were very misleading in your profile. And I'm like, why? Because I didn't put a picture of my son in my profile? Seriously? Like, there's a lot of pedophiles on those apps. I don't disclose that unless we're talking on the phone or if we meet in person. The guy is 40 years old. 40 years old. To think that you're going to date women who don't already have children, who have never been married, is absolutely absurd. Absurd. I never hid anything. And quite frankly, I called him out at the bar and I'm just like, oh, so you don't like kids? He's like, oh no, I like kids. I can't date somebody who has a kid. I'm like, oh, you can't date somebody who has a kid? Maybe you should put in your profile that you don't like children. Okay? That you're not even going to try to give this date, give us a chance, because I have a wonderful, amazing 8-year-old son. Okay? To me, that's not a family man. No. That man's looking to destroy, and I want no part of it.
The biggest problem that I see here is that that man is now being shamed for his very valid preferences. And that is coming from a woman that was once a single mom. Is her point about blasting photos of her son all over her dating profile correct? Yeah, but that's not what he necessarily asked for. All that she really literally needed to do was mention him when they were talking before going out on a very nice date. But instead of taking accountability for not communicating that ahead of time, she ends up shaming him. She says that he makes her feel uncomfortable during the date, literally because he's talking about what he doesn't like. She even twists it into him just not liking kids, being like this devilish man that's going to destroy. Are you kidding me? And why would you want to convince him to be with you despite your son? And side note, if you think that it's unreasonable for him to think that he can find somebody that doesn't have children or who hasn't been previously married, I would say the same thing for you. Because that's actually the case more so for women by the age of 40. They should not expect to meet somebody that doesn't have children. But for men that are in their 40s, they can actually date younger and they could potentially find somebody that hasn't been married and doesn't have kids. That's just the truth.
I mean, you act like you don't understand what you need to do, but if it wasn't on your profile, then you knew exactly what you did was wrong. You don't have to put a picture of your son on your profile. Why would you do that? That's silly. Number one. Number two, here you are telling us online that you have a son, where TikTok could have the same predators that you're saying that you don't want anybody to know about. The same information that you just gave us, you could have given to him on a dating site so he could make a decision whether he wanted to take you out to dinner or not. This is why men ask explicitly, you have any kids? What's your body count? What do you bring to the table? You don't like it, but this is the type of stuff that they get themselves in. You're going to want him to pay for the date. I saw that drink that you had there. That looks like a nice drink. They're probably going to charge you about $10, $15 for that. He's got to pay for that. He never would have even come out the house had he known that stuff.
This is exactly why having a hall pass should not be a thing. Because that married woman thought that it would be okay to do that because that man is famous. Well, imagine her surprise when her husband later on filed for divorce. And I am totally on the husband's side because it is so disrespectful for her to not only talk about something like this, but to actually do it. And we are not blind. We can all see that it was very obviously her that was pushing for that interaction. And it wasn't even just the kiss. That was a pure invitation from her to that man for probably anything. It is so disrespectful to her husband and to the marriage. Once that level of disrespect is there, honestly, there's no going back, and all it takes is the right opportunity.
Got her behind all out, throwing herself all over a man. Why would anybody want to protect and provide for this?
My date just walked out on me within 30 seconds of seeing my face. He saw me, he said, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. He also, when he saw me, I was with Francesca, her boyfriend, and Nick. So, not the best look, situation-wise, but he kind of stuck up on me. He was like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. He never... Yeah, no, he walked in, and, everybody was together.
Your date didn't walk out on you after 30 seconds after he saw your face. He walked out on you when he saw that it was actually going to be a group date. And at that point, what do you think the man is going to think? It's either one, you were planning on a quadruple sum and he's just not into that. Or two, you weren't taking getting to know him very seriously, which means that you weren't really that into him. Actually, I think there's a third reason too. It's that it was a complete joke. It was to make fun of him. He was going to walk in and you were going to laugh at him and say, ha ha, what, you think I could actually be into you? And then you're just there with your friends, which is a complete horror story.
Somebody in the comments said arrogant in their 20s, delusional in their 30s, bitter in their 40s, alone in their 50s, and forgotten in their 60s. You guys keep on playing these types of games, you're right on track for what this man is saying in the comments. Y'all sit up here and play it, do all this nonsense, think that it's cute, moving out here sloppy.
The qualities in men right now are horrible. I would rather be alone than settle for a man right now. What happened? In my 20s, I feel like I met a better selection. But maybe when you get to this age, a lot of people start showing their true colors. I have no idea.
If that lady's 30, then I'm almost 40. which is true. It just goes to show that you cannot rely on somebody's picture or video to determine their age. Which, trust me, when women start to realize that it's really their age that's keeping them from the pool of men that they want to date, they might start fudging their age a little bit. Which is another thing that you guys should be looking out for when you're meeting somebody online that you don't know. That is one reason, on top of many other reasons, why I always recommend doing a public data check on the woman that you're interested in on a trusted website like publicdatacheck.com. You can find out their age, where they've lived, if they have a record of anything that you would want to know about. It could save you a lot of hassle.
And the thing about it is she doesn't look bad. It's just that once you start hitting I look better in my 30s than I did in my 20s. You have a lot more baggage in your 30s than you did in your 20s. That's just the way it goes. You're doing things, you're living life, you're accumulating more things, and you become, most modern women become more stubborn. You're not cooperative anymore. In your 20s, everything's a little bit more flexible, and so you can kind of take advantage. You're young and you're dumb, but you can take advantage of, we don't know anything, let's just go make mistakes together. Man, your mom and I, we were idiots. I don't know what well, maybe I was the idiot because she was sitting up there telling me not to do it, and I did it, and she was like, "Now, see, I told you stop doing stupid stuff like that." But over time, we grew together, and here we are with you, and we've raised you to be a responsible adult, and hopefully you do that. Hopefully you make your mom and I proud. That's what that sounds like. But what y'all are trying to do is get to 35 and 40, and then you want to get married. And then when a man comes into you, a man that's suitable for you, reasonable for you, you want to say, you don't meet my standards because of all this list of stuff. And actually, once again, the man is perfect for you. You're not as flexible. A lot of these modern women are very rigid.
No man that I like, in love with, my man, would ever do this for me. They would never. Most of them, if not the most important one, knows I'm on a detox, knows I'm on a cleanse. Has he offered to do anything like this? No. He's like, oh yeah, good luck. This man, stranger, doesn't even know me, paid $500 for a first date because he wanted to make my life better, because he was like, I know you're probably struggling with the detox. I know it's probably stressful. I know it's hard. I'm gonna make sure you have a better day today.
I can say with 100% certainty that that man would not have wanted to take her out if he had known that she was not into him. Just imagine being this man that took her out on a date, scrolling through TikTok, and then you see her pop up and she's talking about all the men that she likes, and apparently he's not one of them. Oh, and there's one guy that is the most important, and they would never do this for her. This is what's so hurtful for good men that are trying to put forth a lot of effort when they meet somebody that they genuinely like. But she is not entering into this relationship in full honesty. She has a list of guys that she likes, with one guy being number one. Listen, ladies, the truth is that men don't want you to give them the pity yes. Like, they don't want you to go on a date with them when you don't like them. Next time, ladies, just keep going after the men that you actually want and leave these good men alone.
These men be doing grand gestures and getting nothing in return. In time, he'll learn. Maybe this is the first thing for you. I get it, brother. These women, you didn't have to get online and say anything, honestly. That's the problem. You did not have to get online and say, well, I don't even like this guy. I don't want to have anything to do with him, but he paid because he wanted my life to be easier. Now, if I can find a man that I like that will do that, well, the man that you like didn't. You have a bird in hand right here. What are you waiting for another opportunity for? You got one right in front of your face.
I'm shaking. I just got home from a date. We were going to an event and dinner. We did not make it to dinner. He just dropped me off at home. I'm back home. I've been gone for an hour and 15 minutes. I'm back home. And I have a friend coming to pick me up right now. I just asked him to take me home. You know the amount of times I have wanted to do that while on a date and I didn't, and I just sat there and grinned and bared it. A guy does something or says something or is something that I just don't jive with, and I stick around because it's the polite thing to do. No more of that, girls. I finally just said, look, I have to be really honest. You just did this thing that is really not my vibe, and it's turning me off, and I don't think I can make it to dinner with you. To his credit, he took it really, really well, and he said, okay, I actually completely understand. Thank you for telling me, and let's go ahead and get you home. He also asked me out on another date. What? No.
This is very much becoming a trend. I see it time and time again, and I know that I've stitched quite a few of these videos. These women are bashing men for things that are not very obviously wrong, like things that are very much debatable, things that are just her preferences. But she comes back, and on video, she makes it seem like this guy was a terrible guy. Meanwhile, when you hear about all of the details and how the date ended, you can tell that the man didn't even realize that he did anything wrong. He very respectfully brings her home safely, but she makes this video, and it leaves the viewer wondering exactly what the man did in order to cause this reaction from her. So I thought when I initially talked about this video that there was just one video. But then in my comment section, I guess some of you guys had already seen this video, and then you saw 2 more videos that were follow-up videos. So I want to go down the rabbit hole, guys. I did it. I did it so that you don't have to. And today, what we are doing that's a little bit different is that although I have seen the first video, obviously, I have not viewed the second or third videos. I just downloaded them onto my phone, and I am going to watch it. And you are just going to get my live, authentic reaction. Before I hit play, please guys, remember to like this video and remember to subscribe if you haven't yet to catch my videos every Friday. Let's just watch the second video. You know, maybe in the second video, she will give more context and she will actually enlighten us as to what this man did.
To answer your question, Emily, he didn't do anything wrong. He didn't do anything wrong at all. These modern women, they like to leave because they know it's not really that big of a deal. They like to leave it kind of surface level. Well, you know, I'm shaking because he did this, this, and this. What, you know what it was? You know what it probably was? He probably tried to, maybe, and I'm just speculating, I could be dead wrong, but he probably tried to maybe put his arm around her. And she was like, oh, don't do that. We don't even know each other. I don't, you know what? I'm not going. Just take me home. Okay. Sorry about that. I didn't know. I thought we were, she's not adding any context to what actually happened. She's not adding any context to how long they talked, how long they've actually known each other. It's just, once again, whatever I feel, however I feel, whenever I feel it. They might have gone on 3 or 4 dates. We don't know. But because he makes her feel uncomfortable because he don't know her, even if it was on the first date, maybe they were talking before that. I don't know you. I just trying to take initiative. I don't know. But like somebody in the comments said, he was a very, very understanding. He was a gentleman about everything. You know, okay, well, you know, let me take you home. Hey, is it okay if I'm sorry what I did? I don't know what I did. Would you mind giving me another chance? That's probably how the conversation actually went. No, you know what? I just have to think about it. I just can't really stand that. It just drama, just dramatic. Why is a man going to continue to want to be around that? Is I guess what I'm saying. If he's saying, hey, I'm sorry about that, won't happen again. I just thought, and this was my process. He's being vulnerable. He's been open to you. He showed emotional intelligence. He showed emotional maturity. And this is what men are up against. Women that flip out.
Guys, I went on maybe one of the best first dates I have been on in recent years, but maybe ever this weekend. Okay, here's the story. We met on Hinge and we instantly clicked. I mean, it was just immediate banter, immediate conversation. We got deep, we got surface level. We were just really vibing and we weren't messaging for that long. It was probably just a few hours. Eventually he asks me to coffee. I say yes. He sets it up. He asks, what day are you free? What time? Da-da-da. Show up to the coffee shop and he shows up right after me and he walks in and I'm just taken aback. I'm taken aback by his beauty. He is just as gorgeous as his photos, if not even more in person. We meet, we hug. Instantly, we hit it off. Our entire date was 4.5 hours. You guys, we were sitting across from each other with no distractions, no phones, completely locked in, talking the entire time in riveting conversation for 4.5 hours in the corner of this little coffee shop. It was so sweet. He was like, so if you're interested, I would love to see you again. And I was like, yeah, yeah, I'm interested. I would love to see you again. So he took my number because we were just previously messaging on the app. So we walked out of the coffee shop, we hugged goodbye, and that was it. After I had been in my car for all of 2 minutes, I got a text from him, and it was because he turned on his car and a song that we were talking about was playing, and so he made a joke about it, and I made a joke back, and then that was it for that interaction. So we went out on Saturday, and it's now Monday. In my book, proper date etiquette is to follow up the next day and say, hey, I had a really great time. Let's set up that second date. But I have not heard from this motherfucker. I told him on the date, I like to be pursued. I like men to lead. I want you to put in the effort. That's what I'm looking for, and that's what I'm available for right now. So I made it clear. So at this point, I haven't heard from him in over a day, and I've decided that I'm going to give it a solid 48-hour window of time. And if I do not hear from him by the end of today, this man has disqualified himself.
You're telling me that you can have a perfect, unheard of, best ever first date, and you have chemistry, and you have connection. But if that man doesn't follow your unspoken rule of texting you within 24 hours from that first date, he's off the list? Oh my God, do you not see what the problem is here? Because for a woman like this to meet a man like that, and you don't want to hang on to that and maybe change your rules, maybe you reach out to him first because he is this amazing person and you have this amazing connection. I'm sorry, if you're not willing to put in just an ounce of effort like that, then that man deserves better. He deserves a woman that is going to be a wife to him. I said what I said.
I think I said it in one of my other videos. First of all, you guys really got to stop with this. The caption here that Emily has is how to fumble a good man 101. And this is exactly it. Why don't you text him? It's not that big a deal. It really isn't. Hey, I had a really good time with you. Looking forward to seeing you again. Instead of coming out there, I mean, y'all start the conversation all wrong. Well, I'm looking for a man to do this, that. Y'all always know what y'all want a man to do, but y'all don't know what y'all want to do. And apparently in this situation, it's text him and just say, I had a good time. It's not that hard.
In the previous video, I said that I would give this guy only 48 hours of a time frame to be able to reach out to me. Otherwise, he's disqualifying himself. I brought this up in session with my therapist this week, and after some reflection, I realize now that that was really just a protection mechanism. Being really rigid with time frames like that is just a way for you to protect your heart, to lock people out, and to not risk being vulnerable. That's exactly what I did, and why I did it subconsciously, of course, is just a way for me to feel like I was in control of the situation. Any sort of rigidness like that is always based on fear. So being more detached and go with the flow is a healthier approach to dating, and this is straight from my therapist, so hopefully this will help you too. Number 2, the texting piece. A lot of you were really fired up about the fact that I was waiting for him to text me and that I wasn't texting him first. Now, my preference is for the man to reach out and to follow up after a date. However, after some reflection, and of course talking about it with my therapist, texting first doesn't mean anything one way or the other. I'm going to adopt the mentality of, if you're thinking about the person, text them. Texting is at least an action that you can take that will bring you more data and information. At the very least, it will give you more clarity. Okay, so now for the update, because I know you already pissed you had to wait this long. As a reminder, we went out on Saturday and it is now Wednesday, and I had not heard from him. So in the name of gathering data and information and just giving myself a sense of peace around the whole thing, I decided to reach out and text him. I texted him this morning and I said, hey, just wanted to thank you again for a really great date on Saturday. Hope your week's going well. He texted me back a few hours later and said, thank you as well. I really enjoyed it and would love to see you again. I'm really swamped this week, but let's plan for next week. ? Smiley face. I haven't responded yet because this literally just happened. So that's where we're at. I'm definitely open to seeing him again. It's so easy to draw conclusions, but the fact is, we don't have the facts. I know nothing about this man, and he knows nothing about me. That's the point of dating.
That is clearly a woman that can self-reflect and take accountability. Lady, if this man doesn't work out for you, you are going to have a line of men after you. Because this is one of those qualities. I swear, a man could watch her first video and rate her as some sort of 4 or 5 out of 10. But then they could watch this video and they suddenly view this woman as a 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. Tell me, guys, if I'm wrong on this.
I mean, well, let's take the texting thing, for example. After the date, you don't have to wait for him to text you. He just took you out on a date. He just paid. So he shows you that there's some interest there. It's not a crime to say, hey, I thank you for taking me out tonight. Or if you thanked him at the place, you could say, once again, thank you for taking me out. I really enjoyed my evening. And he should respond, I enjoyed it as well. Looking forward to the next date. Let's plan something soon. And then y'all actually plan something soon.
Okay, if you go to the Buc-ee's gas station at 7 a.m., or matter of fact, any gas station at 7 in the morning, let me tell you, you will see the finest men that I've ever seen, that you've ever seen. Okay, and you just you have to go between these hours. It's got to be between 4:30 in the morning to 6:30. Okay, anything past that, and you're getting a finance bro, and we don't want those. We don't want those, okay? So you're going to go between those hours, and let me tell you, okay, you're going to go in there. You're going to go get a black cup of coffee, okay? And then that's how you're going to do it. That's how you're going to do it. He's going to drive. Most of them are driving a lifted F-250, if not a lineman fucking truck, or it's a fucking Dodge Ram 2500 with a fucking welding rig on the back, because, you know, we love the welders. Don't discriminate. You're going to see anywhere between linemen, pipe fitters, fucking welders, operators, contractors, literally every single hot man.
These poor men are going to have their peaceful place disturbed by women that are looking for a blue collar guy. Look, ladies, these guys are just looking to get their Red Bull or their black coffee or even a chili cheese dog, even at 4:30 in the morning. It is fuel, okay? They are not looking for a single woman to hit on. Plus, most of these men are married. And if there is one thing I learned about from the comments of this video, is that wives of these men are absolutely territorial. You better watch out. Ladies, all in all, don't make this a thing. Don't disturb the poor men's peace, and definitely don't get on the wrong side of the women that are in relationships with them, because most of these guys are taken or they're single and they want to continue to be single. Like, they're just focused on what they're doing in that moment. If you want to find these men, you're going to have to knock on their door at like 6 p.m. Exactly. 7 p.m. is going to be too late. They're going to be in bed. And 5 p.m. they're still finishing their work. So that's about it.
Woman in the comments said, blue collar wife here. These men are fine and always tired. And yes, we are very territorial. Y'all keep on going up there trying to mess with somebody else's man. Y'all gonna find out a lesson that y'all are not looking for. How come y'all can't find somebody that's for you?
Can we talk about the woman on this app that has essentially built an entire social media platform bragging about her Bob the Builder husband? Look, I am here for it, because this is a dynamic that works. He obviously likes doing this type of stuff. He probably has that problem-solving mind, which means that he gets a lot of satisfaction by solving problems. And combine that with being in love with a wife that is loving and that is appreciative and that actually brags about her husband, their vibe and everything. It's no wonder. But what's interesting to me is that there's so many women in the comments drooling over this man, asking if he's single or if he has a brother. What they are mistaken on is that that relationship was built. And I just have to say it, ladies, the men that are in your friend zone, the men that you rejected because you're not attracted to him because he makes less than $100K a year, those are the men that are very likely this man. You're just not ready to be that woman.
You know, a lot of men would pay for this. And some men do. Some men do. They pay for this experience in different places just to be praised for even a few hours. Does it sound pathetic? Maybe to some people, but everybody wants somebody to have some sort of adoration for them. And it don't have to be some grand, oh, you're my king, you're so great. But you're just thankful for what I do. You're thankful that I'm here, I'm showing up for you, I'm building stuff for you. A lot of these modern women, they'll sit up there in your face and tell you you didn't do it right. You didn't stack the dishes right. Oh, you put the bowl over here when it should have been over there. Or you didn't put the right Tide Pod in the washer machine. That type of foolishness, man.
I'm on a date right now, and we're going over celebrity crushes. And he just told me one of his celebrity crushes is Jessica Alba. I was like, okay, perfect. Mine is Annalie Chapa, and he didn't know who that was, so I'm pulling up pictures. And I'm like, okay, I get a pass for him. He's like, no, you don't. I'm like, you would get a pass for Jessica? Like, what in the world? He's like, I wouldn't do that. Why in the world in what world would he be in the same room as her and have the opportunity to and not do that? Like, I would be mad. Okay, a celebrity that doesn't have herpes.
wouldn't do it.
You wouldn't do it?
No, I wasn't raised like that.
Halle Berry
No.
is in the room and you're not doing it.
If we're married, not a chance. If we're...
What if I tell you it's okay?
No. It's not okay.
What's funny to me is that women that have opinions like this will turn around a day from now, a week from now, years from now, and they'll be asking, where are all the good men? Well, ladies, you kind of turned him off with your opinions, because all that discussion revealed is that you are not committed and you are not loyal.
This makes me think of that clip where the woman was talking about this is a once in a lifetime. I think it was chance, once in a lifetime chance to be with Chris Brown. And her husband was on board with it. Why? This is not the woman for you, bro. They be on here trying to hop on these dudes. For what? The man doesn't like you. He doesn't like you. You'll go out there, do that, and be like, oh man, it was a great experience. What about it was great? Because I thought you said that you pledged your life to me. And number one, number two, even if it was great, why would you be bragging about it? No decorum, no ability to read the room. Modern women are, I hate to say it, but in a lot of ways they're brain dead, or at least that's the way they act. You exposed yourself, my brother. You need to just get up, pay the bill, and go home. Because if a woman is talking like this, she's not the one for you. Oh, I would give you back. Oh, he's just gonna have to understand. I understand I'm about to leave. I understand that I'm about to get up out of here. You don't have anything else to talk about. Oh, well, you don't mean it like that. Oh, I don't mean it like that. You're so insecure. I'm going to have to be insecure on my way home in my insecure house with my insecure food, not worrying about somebody who's trying to make me insecure and talk about stupid stuff and try to gaslight me and manipulate my emotions.
Sassy male apocalypse is really funny until we need to find husbands. Only 1 in 3 men under the age of 30 are in a relationship, whereas 2 in 3 women are in a relationship. How is this possible? Women are dating older. If you have 50 men on Tinder and 50 women on Tinder, 46 of the women will give all of their attention to 4 men. On Tinder, a man of average attractiveness has to swipe 200 times to get 1 swipe back for coffee. And if the coffee date happens, 4 out of 5 of those said coffees will ghost him. The men who are rejected at that rate indulge in more misogynistic content online and pornography. I begin to think about my brothers or my future sons. And the reality, the current situation is men are not doing well. And who wants economically and emotionally viable men the most? Women.
What's crazy to me is that this difference between what young women experience and what young men experience in dating and in relationships today is that it's just skimmed over. It's like, oh, we both have it really bad. And yeah, men have it worse, a little worse. But guys, let's be real. Just based on these statistics alone, men have it way worse than women when it comes to dating. In general, I don't think that people, especially young women, do a good job at putting themselves in young men's shoes. Because what I've seen is that there is a total lack of empathy when it comes to this issue. For example, when the loneliness epidemic was first being talked about in young men, women bashed men. They blamed men for the issue. And then women wonder why they can't find a good husband. Well, it's because when they were younger, in their 20s, and they were going through this, they just decided to stay single and build their empire.
Basically, what I hear you saying is that you sat up there and played. You and other modern women sat up there and played in your 20s and your 30s. And now you're going to jump around 35, 40. Oh, I need a man. I think I did too much. I think I girl bossed. Too close to the sun. No, you were an idiot. Too close to delusion. You never step back into reality. So you want to fly out there in fantasy world every now and then. It'd be nice to have this. It would be nice to have that. Come on back to reality. This is the man that I need in my life. Some of us, men and women, we be like, oh man, I wish I had this, or maybe I want that. And sometimes we don't even know what's good for us. But then this is why you date. Is because you're feeling out the process. This is why you talk. He's like, man, you're going to hear a lot of couples say, man, I thought I needed this. I don't even know why I thought I needed that. That was silly. I don't need any of that. That's superficial stuff. That's why a lot of these older people, these married couples say that looks don't matter. And they're right. They're right to a degree, but I think it needs a little bit more context. You want to be attracted to the person, but the person doesn't need to be Margot Robbie or George Clooney. They don't need to be that. You don't need that. That it's nice to look at if you're into that sort of thing, but this person who looks good to you, they're going to become more attracted to you, more attractive to you, I should say. Sorry about that. When you get to know them as a person, you say, oh man, they're really beautiful. But when you get to know them, you get more intimate with them. You begin to share things about yourself, and they share with you, and you connect, and you don't hold it over each other's head, and you feel safe with them. You're emotionally vulnerable with them. They say some things, now people are going to say some stuff that, sometimes you be like, why would you even say that? and you're going to say something too, and y'all going to do stuff to make each other mad. And sometimes you're trying to press each other's buttons. But at the end of the day, you got to have respect for each other. You'll look back on all of that and be like, man, we're just a couple of knuckleheads. Just a couple of knuckleheads, man. She did this, and it drove me up a wall. You're laughing about it now. But back then, 20, 30 years ago, you was upset. You was about ready to put her out and send her on back to her mama and her daddy's house. But now you said, man, I relaxed, and I went over to my mom and dad's house, and they told me, no, go on back over there. This is your wife, and well, mama, you gotta be on. Why are you on her side? Well, you picked her, and she a little bit crazy, but go on back over there. Oh, I ain't gonna. You go over there, you patch things up, and y'all fix it. Now, I'm not talking about disrespect, right? I'm talking about somebody having a bad day, or just a time to where they're struggling and going through it, to where y'all stick it out with each other. That's what most people are looking for. But y'all have made fun of the people who would have done that with you. They would have done anything for you, man. Whatever you want. If I got it, you got it. I can't buy you a Porsche. I don't have the money for that. I don't make enough money for that. And quite frankly, I don't care to have one. It's a nice to have. I like my old truck. This is my daddy's truck. He gave it to me. So yeah, I'm going to keep it. It's going to be out in the yard. When it breaks down, I'm going to fix it up, because that's what my daddy's not here no more. So it's just something that's very precious. And my dad might be here, but I want to keep this, and I want to fix it up, and call me crazy, but I want to pass it down to my boy. It's a generational thing. I want to give something. I want to leave a legacy, right? That's how you build that stuff. Oh man, that truck has been in the family for years. We're talking about building, and y'all don't even get the opportunity to do that, because y'all done been and talked about somebody. Y'all done been and called the man sassy, and the man done been and moved on because y'all acting silly and talking stupid.